Number 1, Iron Age Booty Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights. Oh, this is going to be one absolutely epic stream. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys doing? What's going on, chat? Wow, you guys turned up tonight. Oh, wow. They're happy tonight. And I think I know why. And it's not because I'm, obnoxiously fumbling with the thing in order to pull up the locals chat. It has nothing to do with this, chat. I am on time, okay? I'm here. It's fine. I was trying to hurry this whole thing up, and it didn't work. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an absolutely fantastic guest this evening, and we have a time-traveling host. For those of you who are not aware, time travel is a thing, and we will give that introduction here soon. However, I do have to say hello to the chat, both on Rumble and on YouTube. I will start with Rumble, as I usually always do, because I think Rumble is awesome, because it's got some things going on with it. So over in the Rumble chat, we've got Skunk's Workshop. What's going on, man? Chatsu is over there. 10 Cage, hello, how are you doing, man? Hail to you. And so far, that is all of the people over on the Rumble chats. I would totally share the Rumble link, but I'm also don't have my links. So down in the YouTube live chat, we got Ricky Rat Comics. What's going on, man? We got Brian McCoppin. What's going on, Brian? How are you? Don't signal.
Hey, Brian.
It's gonna ruin the.
I miss you,
We've
Brian.
got Wrangler down in the chat as well, and Wrangler for 420 says share it. Yes. No, thank you. God, my chat's better than I am at this whole YouTube thing. Yes, if you guys would share this stream with everyone you know on your social media of choice, that would be great, because sharing this stream in all of the places that you love really, really helps it. Whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on YouTube, whatever link you want to share that link. And ladies and gentlemen, I will say this: if you would do me the fantastic favor of being like Nemo, ladies and gentlemen, if you would be like Nemo and touch that butt, that's right, the like button, the like button, ladies and gentlemen, be like Nemo and touch that like button for me, no matter where you are on Rumble or YouTube, because that does help. You guys have no idea how much that actually helps, especially over on Rumble. So the more, the more you touch that butt over on Rumble, the better it is. Wait. Hey, Guilty Gearhead, how you doing over there on YouTube? We also have John A. Douglas for $4.99 over on YouTube. He says, I told my wife we needed a home improvement loan. She gave me $1,000 to move out. Hail the Iron Age. Oh, man. Well, you know,
Good one, John.
Hey, man, depending on where you live, that'll buy a Motel 6 for like a month. You'd be all right. You'd be all right. Just make sure you make friends with the head cockroach, not like not the sub cockroach. Make sure you make, alpha cockroaches are the ones you want to hang out with. And the 10 Cage, how you doing, man? Swift Swordbrush, what's going on? Sarah Pirshala, I am probably not saying that correctly. Sarah, thank you so much for being here. You are definitely a new name to the chat. We've got AS Bruner down in the chat. Dick Cheese, hello. It's so hard to be serious when I have to say Eric Wack, what's going on? Stygia, hello. How are you? Chatsu, he's double. He says double dip so you can smack that butt. Well, no, I'm not reading that on YouTube, Chatsu. No. Evely, music is down in the chat as well. Michael Harris, good evening. Chris M, how are you doing? Wow. Redoubt Productions. Oh my God. Jose Hernandez. Ram, what's going on? Ram.
What's up, Ram?
Holy Lord, it seems our guest is bringing in a lot of people. Trippy Soul, what's going on? Trippy Soul. And, oh, good Lord, have I caught up with all the names? Yeah, I did better. Hey, Sarah says I did better than most at the last name. So I am happy about that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to introduce my fantastic co-hosts and my fantastic and then our wonderful guests, and we'll get to the guest here in a minute. Oh, I will say hello, Horizon Talker. You came in at the end there. I will say hello to you over in the YouTube chat, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. I would like to say a very special hello to my fantastic co-host, the king of the Iron Age, the man who beats the anvil and who brings all of the stories to you. King Richard, how are you doing this week, good sir?
Doing well. I'm taking a little family vacation, so I'm not at the usual setup, as I'm sure everybody can see.
Oh.
But having a good time, and moving right along on everything that I need to take care of. Just trying to stay on top of the website and Anvil and get everything rolling. So.
Awesome.
Been a busy week.
Yeah. No, you have been unusually quiet in our group chat, and I totally get it.
I was driving a lot. It's like a 10-hour drive, so it's
good God. Texas is too big. Texas is
too big. It's like my kids keep asking, are we in this state? Are we there? And I'm like, no, we're still in Texas.
Even your kids are like,
yeah, this doesn't seem right.
No, dude. When I've had to go to Texas once in my life, and I don't ever want to go back. I had to drive there. I was like, "You're in Texas." I was like, "Sweet. How many more hours?" It was like, "You have 10.5 hours left." And I was like, "Are you effing kidding me?" I drove through 2 states. I went through Colorado and Oklahoma, and it was like, "No, you got 10.5 hours left, bro." And I'm like, "In one state, really?"
Yeah.
Okay, Google, that's fine.
If you say so.
Whatever. No, man,
I
that's
like
great.
Texas.
I'm glad you're. Huh?
I like Texas.
I have my issues with it, but we are not here for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very special co-host this evening. This is a man who has traveled far and wide throughout time and space to be here.
Good.
Huh?
I'm that good.
Not yet, you're not. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Mr. Daniel P. Riley from 2025. And he has an interesting story to tell you.
Thank you.
Mr. 2025.
So put yourself forward 2 years from now. Daniel and I are we. 2 years from now, King Richard has declared his own country. He's a true king. His house is a sovereign nation to avoid taxes. He built his own power supply. He uses an old nuclear bomb he got from Canada and made his own power supply to run the power for his house. He's having a chill stream, painting his mechs. He spills turpentine and white titanium paint onto the power supply. A portal opens. It opens up back to the year 2023, but only people with real hair can go. So Royce can't go.
Oh, fuck off!
And Richard has to keep pouring turpentine on the portal to keep it open. Or if it closes, I'm sucked back. So only I can come. And I said, I remember this. I interviewed myself. This is fantastic. It's Providence. So thank you. Thank you.
I'm excited to hear that everything works out exactly like I hoped.
A.S.
I can't
Bruner
wait to
asks,
travel back in time.
A.S. Bruner wants to know, how was IronCon?
It was amazing. Daniel's movie for Genocide 3 gets released. It's amazing.
Yeah, and the Canadians really never saw it coming, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So they got what they deserve. Is what
Marketing,
They
he was
got
honored
what
with
they
a real white hair sword
deserve.
Oh, God.
from the Prime Minister of Canada.
Who is the Prime Minister now?
I'm not sure I want a sword from the Prime Minister of Canada.
In 2025, it's Rain Maida, the lead singer of Our Lady Peace. Can you believe it?
That's not so bad then.
Oh my God, I want to make this movie
There's
so
been some
bad.
changes.
I want to make some movie so bad. Oh God. Oh God.
Well, it's good to see me again.
All right.
It's good to see myself as well.
Oh God. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an absolutely fun night. Trippy Soul says 11 minutes and we're off the rails. Yeah, that's actually a record. That's actually a record. So you can thank Mr. D.P. Riley from 2025 for getting us off the rails. And ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I am going to welcome our very, very special guest tonight, a man who I am very, very excited to interview because I know him fairly well at this point in time. And I am absolutely excited for what he is doing with his own works because he helps many, many other people, a part of our community, with their works. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org. Good sir, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Pre-gamed a little bit with the High West whiskey.
Perfect.
Oh, it's going to be one of those streams.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mr. Daniel P. Riley, ladies and gentlemen. I was Ebony Music. Thank you for getting my back on that one. Oh, good Lord. So this is going to be, well, one, a stream that I wasn't quite expecting, and two, something that I'm really excited for because we are on episode 32. Episode 32 is Mr. Daniel P. Riley, and I'm going to be honest. When this whole thing started, Richard was like, "Hey, I would really like this other guy to join us because I think he's got some good, some good conversation here. He helps a lot of people with their novels and stuff like that, and he's going to be that guy that, I think he can help us really on the writer's side of things." I was like, "All right." I had no idea who this dude was, no clue. All right, I think I met him on stream.
Yeah,
and we got done with Iron Age Nights 1. And I think Brian Asher dipped and we hung out for another little while. And all of us were like, that just worked. Don't know why it did. Like, especially three very different personalities. But it worked. So I need to ask this question. Why did you join up with Iron Age Nights? And what? No, seriously, because this is a thing, man.
Oh, it's a legitimate question.
So what was it that, because I've kind of asked this in private, but I don't know, you kind of get the answer. It just felt right. But like, let's give an answer to the audience. What had you join up with Iron Age Nights and go on this journey that we seem to be going on? And at this point, it's controlled by the chat. Hell, it's not even, we're not even steering the ship at this point. But what had you join up here, man? What was it about this that just kept you coming back for more?
Well, it felt right is why I came back for more. But initially, when it was brought up, my answer was yes, because I've been very camera shy and somewhat of a hermit for a long time. And in getting on a live stream and putting my face out there on the internet, it was difficult to do when I was doing those author interviews. I did I think 4 or 5 of them, and it was really hard to do that. Just being by myself on camera was intimidating enough. But I thought, hey, I like what Richard was doing with Iron Age Media. We talked a bit in text, and I don't even think we actually spoke voice at that point.
Oh, really? So you guys had kind of met like more in person?
Yeah, we were exchanging direct messages and talking about different things for a while, but it was specifically in messages. And when it came up, I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to try and step out of my comfort zone, get more into a open format, and start getting myself out there more for my business. So that was the reason. It was mostly a learning experience, and I thought I could do it with at least one person I knew, and then the 3 of us just clicked, and it was like, okay, this is the perfect place for me to be.
Mm-hmm. That was that was weird. I will say this, meeting people that, especially with, because I have a very loud personality, if you guys haven't noticed. It's very different.
What?
It's very different to meet people in the off that you're just like, no, let's do that project. Usually you do like the feeler thing. We didn't do the feeler thing. That was just like, no. And then when we got done with that stream, we're like, that, well, I mean, we might have all been buzzing because like Shad showed up on that stream.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there might've been but there was something about that, man, that was just really, really cool. And I'm utterly glad to have you on. And I'm glad that you're the guest this evening. And I am also glad that you guys are joining in with the memery that seems to be a drink with crazy at this point, which at that point wasn't. All
the memes today have been great.
Oh, dude, oh my God, they've been fantastic, man. They've been absolutely fantastic. And really quickly, before we get it more into the interview of Mr. Daniel B. Riley, for $5 over on YouTube, JVP Music says, glad to see Dan in the chair. An unsung leader of the Iron Age, both I think he means by example and by collaboration. Absolutely. That is an absolute thing. JVP, check your messages on Gilded.
Thanks, JVP.
Just check your messages on Gilded. But yes, thank you, JVP, and thank you so much for the $5, man. All right, so let's start here where I start with just about every author. What got you into writing, and how did you kind of get to where you are now?
Well, I've always been writing, and I think from age 12, I wanted to be an author. My uncle would come to visit the family, and he would bring a shoebox every time he came to visit. And in that shoebox was a treasure trove of old sci-fi and fantasy books, little paperbacks, the dime store style pulps and things like that. Mm-hmm. And he'd just leave them with me. I'd read them, and this is what I want to do. But, back then, the prevailing statement was you can't make money as an author. You can't make money as an artist. You got to do something else. And it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I didn't for the longest time. Instead, I wrote D&D modules for my friends and other role-playing game stories that everybody loved and always said, you should write stories like this. And I'm like, I know. And then I went back to just not doing it until the year before the COVID.
Oh,
yes, the year before the COVID.
COVID-1.
Is that the year before the COVID? So is that what, BTC?
Pretty much.
-1 BTC.
There you go. I actually said I was done trying to be a teacher because I got my education degree. I was teaching in classrooms, and education, especially here in Pennsylvania, is very liberal, and they got their heads so far up their asses, all they see is colon. So,
oh boy.
Hey, I'm the guest. I can say what I want.
I know, dude. No, you're good. Like, I'm like, wait a minute. I want this guy more often. What the hell?
But yeah, so I called it quits on being a teacher, and I pretty much liquidated most of my assets. And at the time I was moving to Texas, my girlfriend had gotten a house out there and a pretty good job. And I was like, okay, I'm going to liquidate, I'm going to reconsolidate, and I'm going to take 1 year to write my first novel. The story I want to write. And then a couple of months after the move to Texas, the COVID lockdowns hit.
Oh God.
So I moved myself and my daughter, who was 16 at the time, 17 almost, down to Texas, a couple $1,000 of a move. I was as frugal as I possibly could. And then COVID hit, and my girlfriend's job went part-time and then dropped off completely. And I spent all of my liquidated assets keeping us afloat during the lockdowns. Put a strain on the relationship, so I had plenty of time to write.
Oh,
it's one of those perfect storm situations, but during
I
that,
want to make such a bad joke, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Make a joke.
Oh, when you can't touch her, touch a pen and write.
That's good. I like that.
That energy's got to go somewhere. Might as well go to the page.
That's true. But that was actually the thing, and that's what Whimsyland was born from. Was I was like, I'm just gonna write. So I went and sat down in front of the computer by myself, completely left alone, and stared at blank page. And for weeks, I think I only produced maybe a couple of 100 words. And They were horrible. And I was like, okay, well, I need to figure this thing out. So I started looking around online. I followed Adam Lane Smith, Joshua Lysick, and a couple of other people. I started following Declan Finn on Twitter and absorbing knowledge. And as I absorbed what they were putting out there, especially Adam at the time, because he was still talking mostly about writing books. He's moved into relationship counseling sort of thing nowadays. But I started talking with him about writing books and absorbing what information I could, and slowly but surely it started to work. And then I found my groove, what inspired me to write and to write hard, and finished the first Tales of Halcyon book, The Wizard's Mistake. And when I finished that, I didn't even stop. I was like, okay, we're on a roll. Let's keep going. And I wrote the second one, City of Eld, in 6 months instead of a year working on The Wizard's Mistake. And then the final book, The Hero's Flaw, just took me 3.5 months to write. So it was like incremental, sudden speed and proficiency. Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. Like at that point, I wrote all 3 books as one big story instead of each book as an individual story telling a larger tale, which is, a rookie writer mistake. But I wholly accept it. Yeah, and that was it. From the moment I hit publish on The Wizard's Mistake, I was like, I can officially call myself an author as soon as someone buys it.
Yeah.
That isn't my mother.
Hey.
High standards.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, our moms are our biggest fans, man.
Yeah.
Like when I was gigging, dude, my mom was at every show that she could possibly make it to.
Yeah.
Like, you got
and interesting thing about the Tales of Halcyon, originally I produced it as an ebook and a large print paperback. And the reason I did large print was because my grandmother couldn't read regular print, and I wanted her to be able to read the first books that I wrote. So I had those printed in large print for her.
Yep. Awesome.
And I was hooked from that point on. So I just kept working on different things. I started storyboarding Legacy of Heroes. I tried writing a steampunk Western called Rise of the Patriot, and I couldn't get it right. So I put it aside. And then the idea for G Sedai came, this weird little action story about a sort of cyber samurai. And it just snowballed from there. But those first 2 years of working on Tales of Halcyon, I was like, okay, well, there's got to be people like me who don't know how, but really want to, and they have a story to tell. And I started talking to my mother. I said, okay, I'm thinking about doing writing coaching and publishing coaching and like helping people like me through the process. And she said, okay, well, you got to come up with a cool name, because that's how my mother thinks. And I'm like,
hey,
all right,
she's not wrong.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I need to sift on that for a while. And I went through a couple of different iterations, but a phrase kept popping into my head, which is turn your whimsy into reality. And I went, okay, well, let's just make it easy and call it Whimsyland.
That's awesome, man.
Thus, Whimsyland Literary Coaching and Services was born.
I didn't know any of that.
I'm curious about your going way back. I'm curious about your D&D modules.
Oh,
do those exist anywhere? Or are they?
They exist in really old spiral binders.
Ah, okay.
Can I get some scans of those, and maybe we could?
We might have to go through.
Gilded people, I will poke and prod him to upload the scans of his D&D modules into the Gilded.
I think I might prefer to just retype them out. Honestly, they've got like Mountain Dew stains, and
No, that's why I want them. That's why I want them scanned. Dude, I'm going for authenticity here, not professionalism. There's a different. Believe it or not, there's actually a reason I say the scans, because if you've ever picked up like a musician's diary or something like that, or you've like just books that are scans of somebody's handwritten stuff, you get a feel for who they were at that time.
Yeah,
that's why I say the scans for what you're doing. Huh?
So you don't want to know who I was at that time?
No, but I do. I do, and that's why I want the scans.
We've already got 2 different Daniel P.
I know, but let's get 2019
I'm interested
Daniel in here. Like we've
Daniel
already
P.
got
Riley.
2 of them. Might as well time travel some more. And really quickly, guys, I got to get this one out of the way because it will disappear. TSBOL, who's been a member for 4 months on the Drink with Crazy channel, says, "Hail the Iron Age and hail corporate samurai assassins." Wait,
yes.
What? No, wait. I mean, no.
yes. Corporate samurai assassin.
A little bit.
Corporate samurai. That sounds like such a cliche.
We'll get there. You'll understand.
It's a paradox. Corporate samurai. Maybe
in
not.
2025.
Well, no, if it were corporate ninjas, it would be paradox. If it's corporate,
there are those
samurai.
2.
Okay, sir.
You all will be understood when we get there.
I'm hard of understanding.
I think in 2 years, Bryce will have affected me too much because I don't chill that much.
Hold on 1 second, everybody. I am being summoned by a big titty goth girl.
Evelyn Music, your mug line is amazing in 2025. You mug all of our books. So this is my book from Genocide. Thank you very much.
So, Riley, 2025. I gotta ask, when we finally take Canada, where is that nuke? I need to know. For make sure things come through.
It's a continuity request.
Yeah, I just want to make sure things move forward. We're dealing with Terminator rules here,
it's
right?
within driving distance of Niagara Falls. That's all I know.
Okay. Oh, right. Well, that narrows it right down. I got it.
Yeah.
Thank
like
you.
a 3-hour radius.
Yeah, somewhere in there. One tank of gas, kind of.
Yeah. Okay. We can work with that. No problem.
I
You
don't
know
want
that
to make a
80%
paradox.
of Canadians live within 100 miles of the American border.
Yes.
Yeah, it's almost like they live at our.
And in 2025,
at our mercy.
105% of all Mexicans live north of the border.
Oh yeah, I can attest to that.
It's actually really funny because of how I refer to Canada generally in private company.
Oh, God, that's hilarious.
I call it the Northern Latrine.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, sorry. Well,
Sorry,
I apologize. I was getting chicken updates, everybody. Okay.
Yay,
So,
chickens.
yay. No, we got our first chicken egg today.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we're happy about that. We got some guinea
Yeah.
eggs before, but all the chickens that we just raised, we got our first. Anyway, that's besides the point. I don't want to go off the rails that bad. We already are off the rails because DP Riley 2025 is here. We do have some questions down in the chat for DP Riley 2025. AS Bruner wants to know, what am I doing in 2025?
Nothing new. Nothing new. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, gotta step your game up.
Did he get hit by a bus? Is that a thing, or is he still?
No, but he donated his back hair for your fourth wig. It was pretty impressive.
Oh, I'm
it's-
snarky.
Wow.
Well, when you get a movie made in your book, you get a little, you have a little fun of life.
Oh yeah,
Oh
The ego
God, are you
kicks
on the
in, got
Hollywood diet now?
it would seem
My-
to be.
Bathing in virgin blood has kicked up a little bit, yes.
Daniel, good sir, you get a very big head when in 2 years. I mean, like, I get that you're going to be famous and all that, but my God.
I think somebody might need to kill me now.
No, I need to know where that nuke is.
Oh, I need
I don't
to
want
know
to screw
where.
things up now.
He's like, I have my own freaking country.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're not endangering that.
So,
Nuke
like,
first,
okay,
then
so
assassination.
Richard owns a country. Daniel, oh, damn it, my sound foam just fell off the ceiling. That's awesome.
Like a shelf part two.
Yeah, I'm starting to regret the tape that I bought. Anyway, Richard owns a country. Daniel is super famous in making Hollywood movies. Do I live like under a bridge or something?
No, you're very successful. You bought OnlyFans and turned it into a proper, respectable platform.
Sounds about right.
It went broke very quickly, but you did a good job.
Sounds right.
Oh, God. Daniel,
All
you.
photos arrive censored with like a little spoiler thing, right? And you click it, and a picture of Jesus pops up, and it says, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And then you click it again, and then behind that one, they've deleted the photo from the thought, and instead it's just another picture of Jesus saying, "You really don't. Go repent." And you saved on hosting costs. That was really the big key. That's how you kept it afloat for as long as you
I'm
did.
gonna have to guess that I'm funding this project with Royce.
I'm just gonna.
Canada has a lot of natural resources. That's all I'm gonna say.
Everybody's like, "Are you? It's Jesus. Are you sure you want to do this?" People click and they're like, "Their shirts never gonna give you up." Yeah, people just like, I'm done with this website. Oh God. Only wigs.
Only wigs.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So. Oh God! Wow. Yeah, we are definitely off the rails. So Daniel.
I am an agent of chaos. It's fine.
So it's only been a few years since you've published your first, because believe it or not, guys, the time of the coof was not very long ago. It's been like what, 2.5 years, 3 years. It's not that long ago.
Yeah.
How many stories have you written in that time? Or I guess, how many books have you written? Because stories can be in a book series.
I was going to say define stories, but
yes.
no.
How many books have you written in that time in 3 years?
This will be 6th published book.
Holy crap.
I wrote 3 other ones, a half of one, as I said, Rise of the Patriot, 2 nonfiction books for clients that are published that they don't have my name on them, but I wrote them. That's all I'm allowed to say.
You're good.
Yeah. So grand total 11 and a half.
In 3 years, give or take?
Yeah, 3.5, almost 4.
Holy crap.
It's bothering me.
That's insane, man.
Well, it usually only takes me about 3 months to get a book out. 4 if it's close to 100,000 words.
Jeez.
Now, I was going to say, Jizadai is pretty short comparatively. Yes. I mean, I think it's something like right around the 50, 60,000.
Yeah, the first one I believe was just under 50. This one I think is a little over 60.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, they're novellas. Yeah. Intentionally designed that way.
Well, I think that works well with your style. Now, Jizadai was very action focused, and I mean, it jumped right in and moved you, very quickly into the world of, what I'm trying to remember where it takes place.
Tokyo.
It is. I was going to say, I swear it was Tokyo, but then I was like, I am definitely mixing that up with something else.
I totally would have just said Japan.
Yeah, I was going to say,
or as we colloquially known it in America, Weebland.
Weebland, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say. So, does the second book take place in Tokyo as well? Are we going to have the same kind of action, or you know what I mean? Like, is the first book a good representation of what you're going to be getting with the second, or is there?
Well, the action kind of stays the same no matter what. That is kind of a bit of the core of the story. So every single one's going to have some breakneck, very graphic violence involved. This one, I went deeper into the characters because at this point I'm setting the stage more fully. The first one was like a introduction to the concept of what's currently happening, and in the second one I wanted to go deeper with the characters, Gabriel's evolution away from being very robotic and passionless about everything that's going on around him, even though he has these, like, for those that haven't read Jizadai 1, he saves a young girl from sex traffickers, and something about her inspires him to break protocol with the company that raised and trained him to basically be a highly skilled bulldog. His job is to kill when pointed.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of the Jet Li movie, Unleashed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only instead of raising him as like an actual animal that is trained to just go, the leader of Department 8 in Suzakushin Corporation is called Genbu, which is a Japanese mythological being, but he's just a man. He experimented with each of the assassins in Department 8 and trained them in different ways in order to refine the process of what he ultimately wanted out of the perfect warrior. And what he ended up with is Gabriel, who is trained in Bushido, only it's a somewhat twisted version of it where loyalty to the corporation is paramount instead of loyalty to a daimyo and honor in that life of sacrifice and servitude. It's loyalty to the company. It is the highest honor. But he trained Gabriel in isolation because he didn't want him to be affected by anything else. So this young man, about 18 at this point when the first story starts, has no friends, has no family. He knows he has other members in his company and he's met them briefly, but he really has no thoughts of his own. His job is to go and kill and then return home and wait for the next order. That's his lot in life until he sees this girl, and specifically how this girl treats the small guinea pig known as Heaven. And that trips something in his mind from when he was a child, and he protects her and then takes her home with him.
There's a lady in the background.
There is a lady in the background.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. This thing. Apologies.
You're good.
Oh man, I hate whenever I move setups. It breaks everything.
It's fine. It doesn't break everything.
I reset this thing up like 3 times. Many apologies, guys.
You're fine. Stop apologizing. You sound Canadian.
Well, in the future, maybe. Never mind. Anyway.
In the future, you own Canada.
The gate guards will handle the back door.
Exactly.
Wait,
exactly.
what? Wait, whoa.
All right, I've got a dog situation to address. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, go address the dog situation, good sir.
Do it. Yeah. So, but to answer his question, the second book goes into more detail about each of the characters, how they've evolved because of the events of the first book, and it continues the original story, which is Department 8 is then sent to kill Gabriel and the girl. First to kill the girl and try and convince Gabriel to come back, and when he resists, then they're just like, wipe them both out and we'll start over. Like corporations do. Anyways, I wanted to build on Gabriel becoming more of a human. I wanted to build on Hannah becoming less of a damsel in distress. And the surprise character that came out of the story that I actually didn't plan for, Mr. Hasegawa, I wanted to expand on him, his faith, and what made him such a powerful male figure. Because I didn't write him in the outline. I wrote him halfway through writing Jisedai 1. When it came up and I introduced him, I was like, where did this guy come from? And I need to take a couple of days to sort him out. And once I was done with that, I was like, this is perfect. He's like the missing piece in the story. And turning him into a role model for Gabriel seemed like just chef's kiss, There
you go. So go on. Go on, Riley from the future. You probably
I want to ask myself a question here. Here we go.
Well, I do sort of. 2023 me. Part of the science of time travel is a body swap. There is a Brian McCoppin back in the future hanging out with Richard, pouring turpentine on the portal, keeping it open right now. So he wrote some questions that I assume, wants asked upon you. I know the answer, but as the format would be proper for you to answer me, us from 2023 to answer.
Yeah, the chat should know.
When you wrote Genocide 1, you talk about the loneliness of Gabriel. You yourself had recently broken up with your girlfriend at the time period. Do you think some of that was part of that built into that story?
I think a little bit of every author goes into something in what they write. I'm not going to say that Gabriel's isolation was a representation of me and my girlfriend at that point. It was more a representation of me in general. It's like I said, I'm kind of a hermit by nature. I just do my thing and am quiet until I want to go talk to somebody, and then I poke my head out of my shell and say hello. My daughter likes to refer to me as a hermit crab. Everybody needs to leave me alone until I'm ready to talk, and if I'm not ready to talk and they bother me, I'm going to pinch them.
Wait till you get your Academy Award. You got to stand in front of all these. I had so much fun. You're gonna have so much fun when it happens to you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Sure. But as far as the isolation nature, because of what the company did to Gabriel, it made sense to keep him sort of in a box, because he's infused with an experimental nanotech that they tried previously in another subject, and the way they did it kind of broke him, which you'll meet that character towards the end of Jisedai 2. So in order to keep that from happening, Genbu wanted to keep Gabriel in isolation and very closely keep an eye on him, because his ultimate plan, which I have not revealed yet, is solely around Gabriel.
You said you were going to reveal secrets tonight. That's crap. That's crap. No, that's crap. No, I don't.
You'll understand. Well, those who read the book will understand by the end, but suffice to say.
Okay, so why do you have to be like that to me? Why?
Shh.
Oh, I'm going to have to read the book now.
Suffice to say, Raphael, the character who created all the augmentations for the Department 8 Archangels, they refer to themselves as the Holy Eight, and that was by Genbu's design. Each one of them is named after an angel. Raphael has designed the system to be something that can be put in anyone. So the company's ultimate goal was to refine this nanotechnology system through Gabriel and then market it to Tokyo under regulation so that they could assume control. That's basically the brass tacks of it.
Sorry, I'm yelling at the chat. I do apologize.
Okay, I told the
Brian
chat
has more questions written down
and to ask me questions. Yes, Brian, more questions.
So the biggest one he wrote here, he goes, I've read both books. He was a beta reader, and he appreciates being part of that beta read in the second book. What the hell?
Oh, well, special treatment. I see how it is.
Well, Brian is part of Laureate.
What a dick.
He can be. Brian can be a dick.
It's true. It's true. It's true. I know. Yeah, we won't talk about him right now. He's
so Jidasa, he couldn't find what exactly it means for sure in both books. What's the origin of that word?
If you break it down by parts, technically it means second generation, but colloquially it means next generation. So essentially the book is just next gen, which is what it's about. Gabriel is next gen technology and the next generation of samurai warrior.
That's cool. I like that. Way to tie that in. Stop. What are you laughing for?
None of us laughed, Royce.
No, you from 2025 did.
The wig laughing.
You're a lot more of a dick in 2025. I don't know.
Like I said, somebody might have to take me out before I come back.
No. You got to find out how that virgin blood is.
Apparently, it's corrupting.
I mean, just a bit. So, let's talk about the crowdfunder. Or did I? Hopefully, I didn't miss that. What is the plans? I saw that you have a Fund My Comic.
I do.
Page set up.
I was going to have Royce bring it up.
Oh, okay. Well, we could talk about it a little bit, and then we can have Royce bring it up and ask all the same questions again. It'll be riveting content.
Perfect.
No, but what you know, I was gonna say if we want to wait for Royce to get back on that one.
No, it's cool.
We can work on Tales of Halcyon in the meantime.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could talk about Tales of Halcyon or any of your other projects. Do you have any other? Actually, it's Legacy of Heroes that you have a short that you put together, and I know that you've been doing some work there. Mm-hmm. So
still lots of work with that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say you still just have the first book out, and you have not gotten the second book out, correct?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, all right.
Everything's mapped out and partial, and the book itself is part written. It's not quite finished yet. Same thing with that one, only my plan is to specifically make each story its own lap in a larger race, as opposed to a sprawling storyline. I want to treat each book almost like a comic book arc that
a little bit more standalone than your typical series, maybe.
Yep, and much like G Sedai, Legacy Heroes 2, which is titled Rising Stars, introduces 2 new heroes that will be part of the story, and one of the classic heroes from the history behind it. And I've got lots of artwork coming in on that one that I'll be putting up and possibly making another auto shell out of. I was hoping to have a G Sedai auto shell finished, but unfortunately, I will admit this to everyone. My test page for the comic book that I want to do based on G Sedai didn't pan out. So I wasn't able to use parts of that to create the auto shell for G Sedai that I wanted to. So sad, but it'll get done eventually.
Yeah, I mean, especially with art, sometimes it's hard to get across exactly what you want and make sure everything lines up and so on and so forth.
Yeah. If you guys want me to talk about Tales of Halcyon, that one's funny, so it's a lot easier to joke about.
Yeah, and that's also
I can say whatever the heck I want about it.
Yeah, and it's also completed, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're considering doing a remastered version, or did you already do it?
I have illustrations, and I'm working on.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought you were just collecting them into a single book or doing something to that effect.
Both. So I had illustrations done, and I'm combining it into one large compendium with the illustrations and kind of putting it out as a master copy, basically.
Yeah. Now, with that, is that another kind of sequential series that you put together, or tell us a little bit about it, because I know more about it than that I'm not asking necessarily the right questions for people who don't know anything about it. So introduce us to it.
It's all good. At Tales of Halcyon, like I said earlier, I made the rookie mistake of writing 3 books of one story. Yeah. So it cliffhangers twice and then wraps up by the 3rd book's end. And not the best decision, but it's what I had at the time as far as know-how. The story is sort of a fantasy satire, in that it's about a whiny, slovenly, fat kid named Yoder from a small town in the middle of nowhere who is bamboozled, essentially, by an enigmatic young wizard who refuses to name himself through most of the books, and only goes by the Wizard or the Wizard of What, and into going on an epic hero's quest, basically. I wanted to poke fun at the hero's quest. I wanted to poke fun at the Destined storyline, but also tell a cool fantasy tale. So over the course of it, he ends up gathering a band of misfits around him by taking that step outside of his village and trying to be something other than what he felt like he was at home, living with his mother. I'll let that sink in for a minute. The idea was to do coming of age and destined fantasy, but turn it a little bit on its side and play games with it. So he runs into, almost literally, a little fairy dragon called Perikstar in the forest as they're leaving the town, and it thinks he's the funniest thing in the world because all he does is complain and throw tantrums, and the dragon finds it silly, so it sits on his head and claims him as a slave and won't let him go. And that's pretty much Perikstar. I designed the fairy dragon as essentially a house cat, if a house cat could talk, and had a poison stinger on the end of its tail.
Murder it now.
Yeah. There's a lot of feed me fat slave and making fun of him. And there's one really good moment after meeting the second character, which ends up being the love interest for Yoder, a young woman named Leni Vex, who wants to be a great adventurer and won't get the opportunity. All the big burly adventurers make her clean up the camp and cook the food, but she has the knowledge from being around them. She just never gets the opportunity to really show what she can do. And there's a funny little moment where Yoder starts getting the heart eyes for Leni, and the dragon brings its long neck down and puts its face right in front of Yoder's and yells, "I'm the pretty one."
Okay, I'm curious about this. I was going to say I've not picked that up, but I'm looking forward to the remaster for sure. I'm excited to see the art as well as the humor in there. And
there's some potshot jokes about Fantasy Society. The wizard makes a crack about how he tried to tell the leader of the ruling government that a economic system based on the clearing of monsters from dungeons wasn't a viable way to sustain the region. There's silly stuff like that. I had a blast writing it. It was a lot of fun.
I was going to say, it sounds like a good time.
I was kind of goofing with a Terry Pratchett, Douglas Adams style satire narrative tone. Mm-hmm. And eventually it just turned into this really heartwarming little fantasy series. Hey, my phone comic ran away.
Well, I was going to say.
No. I want to phrase this properly.
Roy says
it can be worded in a few different ways.
Just spit it out.
There's a robot.
Well, also. No, because it's like I want to ask two questions in one, but they are two separate questions. So I will ask two separate questions. The first part of the question is, where do you draw your creativity from? Like what? Daydreams. Okay. Daydreams like inspired from childhood, inspired from moments in your life,
inspired from everything. Anything can be turned. Sometimes when I'm just staring into space, I'm not actually even in the room anymore. Something is caught in my brain.
I know that feeling.
Sometimes it's something as silly as, what if we rode elephants instead of drove cars? What if gravity was backwards? And I just start thinking about the logistics of how that would go, and my brain starts painting pictures of what it would be like. And eventually one of those weird little daydreams turns into a moving picture. And usually at that point I write it down, because at that point it's stuck enough in my head that it's going to become something. It may be a short story, it may be a novel, who knows?
So the second question that I had, and I almost merged the two, and I'm glad that I didn't. What authors did you read that inspired you to want to write?
Big question. Hard question, because I have a very extensive library. You can kind of see up there is my collection of World War II history books and diaries, and a magazine series called Cross and Cockade that came out during the course of, I believe, the 70s and 80s. But yeah, I have a huge library. Tolkien definitely was a big inspiration. I read a lot of Asimov magazines. They were always in the shoeboxes that my uncle dropped off. I still have them. They're upstairs in the office on my shelf. I did a lot of research into different religions during my crisis of faith period. So there's influences there with different mythologies and things. Terry Pratchett, Douglas Adams, Roger Zelazny, huge fan of his Chronicles of Amber. I have an old 70s set of trade paperbacks of the Chronicles of Amber, plus one large compendium. C.S. Lewis, one of my favorites, and still is. I go back and read not just the Chronicles of Narnia, but like the Screwtape Letters and some of the collections of letters he wrote to other people that have been printed over time. I have tons of crazy books. So, yeah, even though I was a hugely active kid, I always found time to read something every day. I try to still do that now.
That's difficult at times, for sure.
Yeah, that's no lie at all.
Except when you do what I do, because that's literally what I get paid for.
Well, actually, that's a question that I have for you. Not to get too far afield from Jizai 2 here, but how do you maintain your reading for enjoyment with your work that you're doing as editing and everything else?
1 hour a day.
Yeah, you just kind of you make it part of a routine.
Yep,
essentially.
It's the simplest way to do it. Either I'll take an hour in midday if I need a break from working on a project. I'll come down here, sit in the seat of power, and read for an hour, or I'll read in bed before I go to sleep. Usually, it's something that somebody in the community wrote, and I ordered. Yeah. Right now, I'm working through Kishin Joe's Angel of Subjugation, and next up is Brina's Myrna Grant book.
Okay, cool.
Those are my fun times.
Nice. So I was going to say, Royce, I was going to ask about his plans for funding and everything else, but you weren't here to bring it up. And then he did bring it up, and we were talking about something else. So I say let's get on with it.
Way to drop the ball.
Yeah.
Before we do that, real quick, I forgot to tell Richard that Tales of Halcyon also has a robot.
Oh, all right. Is it a big robot? Does it stomp on things?
Arigato, Mr. Roboto. Wait, that's a song.
It's as tall as pine trees, we'll put it that way.
Okay.
So it's probably like a small end Big Mac.
I see. Okay. Well,
but
I guess
does it have
that'll be
truck
acceptable
nuts?
for now.
No, it does not have truck nuts.
Can we make it have truck nuts?
Nope.
Probably not in the car.
I am so sad that Blaine Lee Pardo did not go for it. He brought it up too.
Yeah, he brought it up. It's not our fault.
It's the last surviving automaton from a advanced civilization in the storyline.
I'm putting truck nuts on it only for the memes. Truck nuts and a big cigar. It's got to have a big metal cigar and then when obviously it's completely out of ammo, the metal cigar shoots out and it turns out it's an atomic warhead.
No ammo. It was basically a servant drone.
Well, that's
nice.
That's nice.
When you read it, you'll understand.
Okay. I just want things to explode. Is that so much to ask?
When you read it, you'll understand.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, yeah, sir, let's go over G Sedai too.
That banner, I have no art skills whatsoever. I made that banner by myself, and I hated the entire process.
Well, you guys heard it down in the Gilded. He needs a new banner because he sucks at it. So,
Hey,
out of the charity of your hearts, Gilded, rally behind him and help
I
him.
thought I did a really good job. If you look closely at it,
no, I mean
like threaded through with little gold.
No, and if I squint really hard, like
yeah, it probably doesn't show up very well against the white.
If I look at it cross-eyed, it's amazing.
It probably looks better on the landing page, honestly.
It does. It looks really good. It's not
I was say
bad.
Royce is roasting our poor guest here. I tell you,
he's kicking my ass today.
I'm spicy tonight. I've been getting my ass handed to me by the Gilded all week. I'm sorry,
Daniel. We win in the end. It's okay.
There we go.
I always knew we would.
Always knew we would. Oh, good Lord. So let's talk about the crowdfund campaign, man.
Sure.
Let's talk about the campaign. One, why a campaign? Two, what do you hope to get out of it?
A little bit more. I put in there we go, about the campaign that this is less of a crowdfund campaign and more like a virtual book signing event.
Oh.
Okay.
So, am I allowed to do a dramatic reading?
Sure. Go for it.
All right, dramatic reading time. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is over. And just so all of you can follow along, let's do this. So all of you can follow along. Here is, Evelyn Music says $500. Let's knock this out tonight, boys. Absolutely.
Is it live now? Wait,
it's not live yet. It's not live.
All right.
It should be live shortly.
It should be live very, very soon.
Okay. All right.
All right. Dramatic reading time. Dramatic reading time from a guy who can't speak. All right.
Only the finest over here at Iron Age Nights.
We try. No, we don't. We don't try. That's a bull-faced lie. So here's the deal. G Sedai has come.
Fail.
Yeah. No. Sorry. I'm laughing too freaking hard. G Sedai has a long-term plan. 15 books in total, made up of 5. Sir, you need to put some stuff. 5.
There's spaces between it.
Sure. That's awesome. I love that there's a space.
53 book arcs. That's
53 book arcs. No. Real small books is what it is. That totals into 15. I love your math here, by the way. It's absolutely fantastic. 15 books in total, made up of 5 3-book arcs. From each of those books, God, you guys have me laughing too hard. I can't actually do this now. From each of those books and all sales I make from them, my plan is to transition from novellas to physical comics and ultimately to an animated series. With your support in these campaigns, which I am treating more like a virtual book signing than a crowdfunder, these goals will become reality much more quickly. Instead of asking for donations, though I will lovingly accept them. I was going to make a joke. Never mind. I'd rather give something awesome back to everyone who helps me make this a reality, which is why I'm offering a 2-book bundle, merch bundles, and sneak peeks at all the incredible super secret parts of this long-term project. So what is G Sedai? Loosely meaning next gen. G Sedai is the story of Gabriel, a trained assassin, and the last project of Department 8 in Daniel translate.
Suzakushin.
Yeah, that one. Mega conglomerate, aka Suzakushin Corp, raised through childhood in isolation with the Department 8's leader known as Genbu. Gabriel was trained in Bushido, twisted to suit the company's purpose, and subjected to medical experimentation that transformed him into a nigh unstoppable warrior. The ultimate killer could not be killed. Nanomachines that infested his body allowed Gabriel to heal grievous injuries and stave off lesser blows that would maim a normal man. The purpose? To take control of Tokyo by eliminating the competition. All other mega conglomerates and their own clandestine squads of killers, the culmination of everything Genbu desired. He called his team of experimental assassins the Holy Eight and gave each member the name of an archangel. Ooh. Yet one night, upon completion of a hit angel, translate.
A hit against Gumao Corp.
Yeah, there you go. Gumao Corp. Gabriel. Wow. All of my sound foam is falling off. That tape is garbage. I just had 2 pieces fall off the ceiling. Son of a. This is horrible. I am so sorry.
I was going to say this is your best performance yet, there, Royce.
I'm waiting for one to land on his head when he's not.
No, please, these ones are fine. And I swear to all holy hell, I will.
If we could have everybody in the chat pray really hard, we might get that one to land on them. Just everybody, please. Jesus, Buddha, Allah, please.
Jesus, Buddha. No,
I'm a lot funnier
because that's going to enter the lore of my channel, and I don't want that to be the prayer of. Okay, well, too late.
Oh my goodness! This is
Gabriel met.
Never mind.
Just say Hannah.
Stop laughing.
I have a secret to tell you from 2 years in the future, but I'm waiting for it because.
All right, Gabriel met Coriata Hannah, a girl taken by sex traffickers and forced to live her days underneath the disgusting depravity of men. Something changed at that moment in both of them. From that dreary, dark night on, Gabriel and Hannah became bound together by fate. Both need a savior. Neither knew rescue was possible. Together, they fight for freedom against the very company that created Gabriel and the deadly angels that came before him. G Sedai explores the concept of redemption, the nature of honor, and the power of family, even when that family isn't blood-related. A Kurosawa-inspired neo-samurai story filled with intense action and deep emotion. Well done, good sir. Well done. And I do apologize for absolutely butchering that. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the description of what Daniel P. Riley is working on. And my butchery aside, hail to you, good sir.
Thank you.
That applause is far too long. I do apologize.
When's the campaign start?
Soon, hopefully. Fund My Comics is great. I just couldn't get a handle on what time zone they actually operated under.
Yeah, I understand. That can be difficult.
It is. So the time zone it's telling me was... where'd it go? It's not started yet. I know it's not started yet. It was giving me a time. There it is. Obviously today, 9 p.m.
Pacific.
Oh, God.
Of course.
Of course.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, hopefully we're still live when it goes live. But guys, seriously, go watch it. Follow
Daniel, I've got Brian's credit card. I got you.
Well,
he left it behind.
So the options, there's one piece of merch technically, and it's that picture that was at the bottom there. That is a poster design I had commissioned by a fantastic artist named Kenny David, and it's just phenomenal. I had to turn it into a t-shirt, and I'll show you because I'm actually wearing it.
Nice.
That looks so good.
Yep. On the back is my Whimsyland logo. These shirts in the book signing event will have both the poster graphic and the Whimsyland logo on the back. Shirts going forward after the event is over that I'll have up on my merch store will not have the Whimsyland logo on the back. It will just be the print. You can also order a poster if you want. My hope was to, like I said earlier, have a test page of the comic to show everybody, but that sort of fell through. So I'm regrouping and going to be working on finding a new artist to move forward with on that one, but it will happen.
Awesome. So you have, obviously you have plans for figuring out a way to get this into comic form. Is it going to be a more like Western comic? Is it going to be more manga inspired, or?
I think the art style is going to be more manga inspired. I mean,
okay.
All the feedback I get is this thing reads like an anime. And
yeah, exactly.
Just your description.
I'm going to lean into it.
Just your description of it. I mean, and maybe it's just because we're American and the setting is Tokyo, but there is a lot there. I get one of the first things that struck me in your description, though, I definitely got the Mutant X vibe. So Wolverine. Which I don't know if that was an inspiration, but in your description, definitely got Wolverine out of that. But
not an intentional inspiration, but it was probably there somewhere in the back of my head.
Well, I mean, it's so baked into the Americana of what we are. I mean, it's almost hard not to. A man who is the last man who is experimented on as part of a secret, either corporate agency or government agency. And he goes out and he's the super soldier. I mean, the beats are there.
Yep.
But
they're all, every single one of the angels has some sort of ability except for one. And there was a reason behind that won't be revealed until book 3.
Stop it. You said secrets would be revealed.
Yeah, but that specific one stays for book 3.
And now you're like, secrets are going to be revealed. And then he comes out and he goes, all right, so here's the secret, everybody. I have more secrets. Yeah. It's like, that's not a secret.
Here's what you get. In the first book, Gabriel ends up fighting Barakiel, Uriel, and Michael. And each of them has their own specific augmentations. And they're sort of old form augmentations like reinforced skeletons, adrenaline enhanced strength, that sort of thing. Because as Genbu deployed Raphael, the first angel, to create these augmentations for all the other ones, and himself, he was experimenting. So there's a progression from old school cybernetics up to nanotech. Oh. And Gabriel, being the last one, was the one with the perfected version of the nanotech.
That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
There's a sequence in the final fight between Gabriel and Michael where Gabriel hits Michael's arm with the sword so hard that it would have severed a normal man, but because his body is mostly cybernetic, it essentially just snaps the limb in half and drives his whole body into the ground.
Cool.
First of all, ow. Second of all, I have a question. Why the bunny on his sword, and why the rainbows on hers?
Okay, well, the rainbows on hers. I'll start there because the first question is longer. The rainbow pattern is actually a representation of kind of an ukiyo art style, which is Japanese, of flames. And it's because she, in the second book, is carrying Michael's flame katana set. There's a whole story behind that. But she's training with his fire daisho. which is a set of katana, wakizashi, and tanto. The white hair is very specific, and this is what ties Gabriel and Hannah together. Yes, the white hair was a break moment for Gabriel as a youth when he was training under Genbu. And it's probably been used a couple of times as a trope. I remember a few times, but Gabriel as a child was given a white hair as a pet up to a certain point where he was supposed to kill his pet, basically destroy the only thing that he cared about in order to prove himself to Genbu that he was ready to continue his training into the deeper core of what Genbu wanted him to learn. And that little thing stuck in Gabriel's psyche. So when he fashioned his katana, he imprinted it with the little white hair. Originally, I was going to go with a running rabbit motif on the habaki, which is the little collar thing that goes around a katana at the hilt. But the artist, when doing the cover, couldn't figure out how to fit a full sprinting hair on that image. And instead, if you'll look at the first cover, it's actually a little keychain piece hanging off the side. And it was just a little bunny head. And when she did that, I went, actually, the bunny head works a lot better than the sprinting rabbit, in my opinion. It's kind of childlike. And Gabriel, having no social skills beyond his training with Genbu, would have sort of a childlike manner to him, which I describe as he's interacting with people throughout the story. So I just ran with the little bunny head. I'm like, okay, we'll just leave it as a little bunny head stamp, and it's perfect.
That's awesome.
So the connection between Hannah and Gabriel, as explained in the first one, is that story of him having to kill his white hair. Hannah, as she escapes, she's sort of accidentally freed by this little gray guinea pig. And a whole silly sequence to it where it is trying to escape her room, which is normally locked so that she can't get out. A man comes in to engage her, and little guinea pig makes a break for the door. The door doesn't close because it taps on the guinea pig's butt. And since the door didn't close, she pushed the guy aside and ran, picked up the little guinea pig and ran as hard as she could and as fast as she could out of the building into the rain, where she runs directly into Gabriel after he's murdered a bunch of people. And the sex traffickers run out to try and collect her, and she begs him to save her. And in doing so, accidentally drops the guinea pig, and it squeals in the rain, wet and soggy and unhappy about it. She picks it up, hugs it, tells it she's sorry for dropping it, and in that moment, Gabriel connects with her. You know, she is a pet, a creature that she cares for, and it reminded him of that creature that he cared about and had to kill way back when he was a child. And that's the catalyst that brings the two of them together.
I really like that.
Heaven,
that's covered very, very quickly in the first book. You know?
Yep. So first and second chapter. The first chapter ends with Hannah running into Gabriel, and the second chapter explains where the heck Hannah came from, and then continues from there.
I know this came out before, but you get kind of like that Mandalorian vibe where he sends on a mission, rescues the thing, then has to send the thing in, and starts protecting the thing.
Yeah.
They stole our idea.
Yeah, I think we had the idea at the same time, me and whoever wrote that original story. But yeah, from that point, in G-Sly 1, it's protect Hannah, protect Hannah, protect Hannah. Mm-hmm. That's all Gabriel does. Initially, he saves her and then wants to just abandon her and let her go off on her own because he knows that the company won't allow him to keep her around.
Mm-hmm. There's
a little bit of detail nuance that goes on with Michael. He is covertly warning Gabriel that the shit's about to hit the fan. Mm-hmm. And they escape, go through the process of slaughtering their way out of Tokyo and eventually have to fight the 3 archangels of the Holy Eight when they come and find them. There's a really cool sniper sequence between Hasegawa and a member of Suzakushin's security force that I was very proud of. It took a lot of research to work out, but they basically outfox each other a couple of times before Hasegawa gets the upper hand because it's a sniper fight. Both of them are hiding, and it's like a waiting game. Making tension in a waiting game is hard. So
that's what
the enemy at the
I just sorry you said that and all of a sudden I just hear Inglorious Bastards in my head. What we have here is a good old fashioned Mexican standoff. I just heard that in my head.
Yep. The 2 evolves each of the characters. What happened at the end of book 1 has large repercussions. Department 8 has lost 3 of its archangels to 1, something they were not expecting, plus a whole bunch of soldiers and staff. So Suzakushin gives a reprieve to sort of recenter itself.
Daniel, if I may, really quickly, because this one will disappear. This is one of those super chats that are given to subscribers of the channel. Joseph Peck, a member for 5 months, says there must be a katana. Daniel's split time. Ooh. Oh, I don't know if we know anybody that can make katanas, but I want it. Anybody who forges a katana and calls it Daniel, I mean an actual like forged katana and calls it Daniel's split time, I want it. And
it'd be a little difficult to pull off an authentic one because there's a lot of weird regulations about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, prepare to pay through the nose. Unfortunately,
no, they just forge it here in the U.S. and then none of that shit matters.
As long as nobody finds out.
Who's going to find out? Are you?
Well, apparently, I'm a celebrity in 2025.
It's not 2025. It's 2023, and I want it
wait
like
2
now.
years. When your OnlyFans,
what are you talking about?
Replacement fails.
King Richard in 2025 changes the laws. Everybody gets katanas.
Yeah, we can go to King Richard's Kinglandia.
I mean, katanas are. I mean,
what if I find a Japanese guy who knows how to forge it, and he's working in the back, kitchen of someplace?
King Richard does have a dedicated blacksmith.
No, never mind.
So.
In Richard's Kinglandia, everyone gets a katana and a trench coat. We just go back to Highlander rules.
I'm good with it. Maybe not. I would die. I'd be the first one dead. Let's face it. It's time. Be like the first one dead.
No comment.
Wow.
But yeah, I did research into trying to figure out how to get my own authentic folded katana, and yeah, there's a lot of regulations involved, unfortunately.
So you talk to a blacksmith who can forge it for you in the U.S.
Yeah,
you provide them with a pile of money.
Yeah, a lot of money to get it done in the U.S., but there's just something about having it done by an actual bladesmith in Japan.
But does he have to be in Japan, or can he just be Japanese?
Well, I'd be fine with it. I'm just saying, I did research it originally and was like, if I want this thing from Japan by an actual blade master, it's going to cost me through the nose and might get me arrested.
Royce, that's the best kind of thing to want, man. That's exactly. I mean,
yeah.
If I brought a Cuban,
those are big money goals.
So all the fun things are, well,
Yep.
you know.
Big money goals. So,
Yeah, Royce, if I brought a Cuba,
Oh my God, you bring up
he
true
rolled a cigar.
katanas. Wow, everybody gets all like, people get all
Weebs.
huffy and puffy, and I'm just like, I just want. Here's what I was asking, right? Here's what I was asking. I just think it would be cool that anybody would forge a sword called Daniel's Split Time in honor of Daniel. I mean, okay, maybe it's not, a Japanese guy in Japan using really crappy old steel because old katana. No. Oh no. Shad did videos on the katana. And let me tell you, the old ones are not as good as the new ones. The old steel is not as good as the new ones. Don't let anybody lie to you. The modern
new
steel,
old techniques. That's what you want.
Yeah, potentially yes. And I'd have to ask Shad about that. But I could ask Shad about that. But I just think
talking about katanas. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just think it'd be cool that like people like. If anybody would be out there to like forge a freaking sword for you guys, you're like, yeah, but it's not real Japanese. It's like,
oh, I'm not saying I'd say no.
It's like a fan of the channel. What's wrong with you, man?
It's
Daniel,
$10,000. That's the problem.
It's already starting, dude. They're already like all hoity-toity about like being like Daniel in 2025 and all rich and famous and working on his third movie. Like,
but in 2025, that's like a Big Mac.
It's $25,000.
I know, right? It's like a Big Mac. Oh my God. Oh God.
But it's only 85 Richard Round, which is the currency of the kingdom. So it's very
exactly.
Dude, I don't even know where this is going to go. You guys should not be giving this much lore right now to the channel because something will be taken.
I was like, should I put a katana up here for the memes?
I don't have a freaking katana.
You don't have a sword behind you.
Blacklist Universe says I'm fine with Shad being a Mormon, but his position on the katana is sending him to hell.
Cross the line.
Oh God. Oh man. That's absolutely freaking fantastic, man. Oh, good Lord. Oh, I will say this. I have found out more about Daniel, not 2025 Daniel tonight. Well, I found out more about 2025 Daniel tonight than I thought I knew. But I found out more about Mr. DP Riley than I've known since we've started this. And so 32 weeks, guys, 32 weeks. It's like way more than half a year. We're, getting into the 3/4 of a year mark here. And
the link on Fund My Comics to the GCI landing page has some music created by Evlay Music and
awesome.
And 2 extra art pieces that I just got.
Okay, so if I may. And it's less of an if I may, and I'm just going to because I can, because that's just it's you guys are here. You know how I do. You guys joined up, and it's your fault. But this is by Evely Music, a man who I was talking to this evening.
Yeah, so he did that first one for me, and then he goes, I have an idea I want to do, like another one, so I'm going to work on that, and I'll let you know when it's finished. I'm like, okay.
And is that this one here?
The second one, Subaru, yes.
Subaru. I was going to say Subaru, but that's those are the a-holes that took over the
I named them myself. He just named them GCI tracks.
Yeah.
Gave me Ninja Gaiden vibes.
Well, and Evely says they sound better on the page. Yes, they do, because you are getting a whole heck of a lot of compression through StreamYard and then through YouTube. Yeah, they like
so
to...
whimsyland.org/GSidI is the landing page if you want to check out the music in its grand glory, because they're phenomenal.
And sharing Evely's music page right now, so that way people can go check out more of his stuff real quick.
They're that good that they will make their way into the animated series when I get to that point.
Hey, you have your opening and your closing credits right there.
I'll do vocal work. I'm in the music mood.
Hey,
there he is.
Why are you shaking your head, Mike?
He's an old Japanese man. That's what they do.
What's up?
Mad about katana talk?
Yep.
Yep.
And you let him in here, I tell you.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what Shad doesn't take into account is the smelting process to make the iron ore. It's unique in smelting. You don't just take a bunch of iron ore and heat it up and let it melt and wait for the the slag to come to the top. What they do is they create a giant, like a coffin. The thing they cook it in the kiln is like a coffin. Yep. And they sift the sand, the metal sand, the iron sand, and it may have impurities in it, but they sift it with like interchangeably with charcoal, and as it melts, it filters down through all the hot charcoal into like the solid iron base, and all the slag gets like it separates in the smelting process.
So all I'm hearing is that I just want to see somebody with the katana you're talking about and the katana that Shad's talking about, and I want to see them go at it, and then I want to see which blade deforms.
Well, here's another total thing that it's the katana isn't just the sword. The katana is the swordsman.
Mm-hmm.
It's a martial art.
Don't get metaphysical.
No. Because this katana is designed for the particular martial art, the kendo, right? It's not just some guy, like you see these videos of these guys, oh, let's test this katana by whacking a thing with it like it's a baseball bat, like you do with the European sword. That's not how you fight with a katana.
Correct.
It's an art form. It's a martial art, and that is the tool of the martial art. So it's like...
Okay. So then we get two people that are trained in the martial art. We get one guy with a new katana, one guy with a traditional katana, and see which katana bends more and breaks more, and then we can actually truly.
You wouldn't be striking it in the style that it would bend and break.
When two swords clash together, they tend to have deformity.
Yeah, but that's not freaking. It's not. Like I said, it's not medieval martial arts, or medieval swordplay where you're just banging swords together.
No.
Art.
So what we're saying
is Aikido for freaking swordplay.
So what you're saying is katanas back in the old days never clashed.
That's what I'm saying. I said, Royce?
No, I'm saying that you take. I just want to know which steel is better. That's the whole crux of my situation. I just want to know which steel is better. The only way to do that is you go under the premise that you get two people trained in the martial art. You get one guy with the steel you're talking about, one guy with the steel Shad's talking about, right? Okay, and they use the strikes, and they strike.
You saw the video of the guy bending the katana on a sword clamped down with a vice. You watched the Shad videos, right?
No, I didn't watch all of them. I watched
okay.
It was like,
Yeah,
dude,
so
I've been working on an office for the last 2 weeks. I've literally had stuff playing in the background for 2 weeks.
All right, hey, you brought it up, bro. So
I did. And I said, you just get
he
two
like
people.
literally
Here's the
clamps
thing.
down
Yeah,
a sword
that's
and
cool, bro.
hits it with the katana like he's trying to bludgeon it with a freaking baseball bat, and it bends. That's not what you do. The katana is for deflecting the sword. You don't freaking go like head on like you're trying.
So what I'm saying, so you get a guy with the steel you're talking about, katana, and you get a guy with the modern steel style katana, and then you have them obviously not fight to the death because that's illegal now, and I'm not allowed to pay for that. That's another
interesting thing. He did bring up the what's it called, oxidized, like titanium oxide and iron oxide and the different impurities in the steel. But under the microscope, the impurities in, and I just watched another freaking video on this day before yesterday, which is funny. The impurities in the katana steel, it's like impurities in like normal steel, it's like a circle, right? And it can cause like a fracture thing. The impurities in the katana steel,
it's the hydrocarbons. So if you actually know how,
I'm just saying the impurities are like, they're like threaded.
They're called hydrocarbons. It's actually hydrocarbons.
I think hydrocarbon. Well, anyway, never mind.
As somebody who actually had to learn a lot about this to figure out how to do my job for many years, it's hydrogen. It's hydrogen and carbon molecules that actually thread together, and those are the impurities, and they can actually cause what's in the quenching of the steel process or the cooling. If you quench it or if you cool it, it can actually cause hydrocarbon cracking and fracturing. That's one thing that you really want to avoid. That's why you don't ever cool steel very quickly. Or you have to use a very specific type of steel in order to cool it quickly if that's what you're going to do. Specifically with
most cases with blade forging, they use oil to.
Yes, they do. And what that does is that allows the steel to cool quicker, but not too quick to where the contraction of the actual steel itself, because steel will expand and contract based off of heat, as
right, which is how you get the curve in the katana when you quench it.
Yes. Well, that's part of it. And we just got disconnected from the chat.
Uh-oh.
I think YouTube just crashed out on me.
Oh, really?
It says you're live.
Yeah. I'm showing live.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with the
Hell,
chat.
I'm watching you live. Yeah, you're live.
Wow, because I just got a notification that the chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you.
No chat for you, Royce.
Wow, that's
no, it works for me.
I'm getting you guys on StreamYard.
Not working for you.
Well, I'm getting you guys on StreamYard, so that's okay. So I'm getting you guys on StreamYard, but I cannot actually see the pop-out chat that I have pulled up. That's weird. And
Maji-chan says, "Hey, Black News Universe." Ultimate Kahuna says, "Mark."
Okay, Horizon Talker says we can hear you guys just fine. Strange. Yeah, no, I'm just getting a loading screen on the YouTube. I have a lot of pages. That's weird. This is the first time this has ever happened.
Yeah, so you're dragging me away from my work by just talking smack about my sword.
Dude, I sent you a link like, hey, you can join. Like, don't eat like you're so busy now. You're too
Sorry,
cool
Mike.
to come on a drink with crazy and like say hello to us.
I respect the content. Put the glowy blades away, me.
Put the glowy blades away.
It's okay, honey. I won't let the mean man hurt you.
No.
On that subject, though, as far as the whole concept of katana being both weapon and user, the second chapter of Jisedai 2 goes through one of his morning trainings and goes through some of the exercises, the stances, as Gabriel is teaching her how to wield the weapon correctly.
Daniel did his homework.
I was going to say, I assume
a lot of it.
Quite a bit of research there.
Royce, do more homework.
All I said was I want to see old steel versus new steel clash against each other. That's literally all I said.
In this other documentary I was watching, they showed the difference between the steel that comes out of the forge.
Did they actually fight each other or no? Did the two steels touch
Mike's
each other
eyes just went
at
dead
all?
inside.
Because I would imagine at some point in time, a samurai and another samurai touch swords, which is not as gay as it sounds.
Yeah,
I would
I was
imagine.
gonna say gay. Yes,
That's all I want to know is
the
if
weapons
these swords
do impact
collided
each
with
other.
each other.
Yes.
Which one holds up a little better? Because, like you said, it's designed to deflect, right? It's designed to deflect and then take out the body. So
you know how
if
Aikido works? Another Japanese martial art form, Aikido.
No, that's
Judo?
why I said get two people who understand it. One with
a lot of the Japanese
type of
martial arts are about deflecting the motion of the other fighter.
Yes.
And that's the way it is in Kendo too.
But so you're telling me that if they deflect the blades, I just want to see which steel holds up better on that. That's it. You get one steel versus another steel, and they just do a practice round. They can deflect, right? And then just see which one holds up better. That's it. That's it. It's not.
Well, I doubt someone's going to take a $200,000 sword from the collection of the National Museum of Japan,
which is also
these are national treasures.
There are still people who make them. They are very expensive, but as far as I know, there are still people who make them traditionally.
Yeah, he's talking.
I'm saying they're not going to test a freaking national treasure against a modern sword.
So then,
for your benefit, Royce.
No, not for my benefit. So then the answer is that. So then, by me saying that, like, modern steel under all known standards is better, is never going to be tested.
There would be fewer inclusions, yeah.
Huh?
There would be fewer inclusions.
You wouldn't be. I mean, you can't. You there. Like I said, and I do know that there are people out there who can forge it. They can forge the swords that are very, very, very close to that. They can. But obviously, I wouldn't even say that I would want a 2 or 3 or 4 or 500-year-old sword tested against a brand new or a newly forged. That's just no. The test of time, corrosion, things like that. That's not fair. I would say that you forge them somewhat around the similar time and do it, because it's all about the forging techniques.
What do you mean forge them at the similar time? You're talking about going and getting sand and it'd be impossible, dude. You know, it takes freaking a lot of effort just to make the iron ore.
Yes.
They wouldn't do it with,
In the grand scale of time, a sword that is forged within 10 years of another sword is very different than a sword that was forged 400 or 500 years ago that has dealt with the weather changes and all of that, especially when it comes to steel and the degradation of what iron and steel do. When you get into the metallurgy of all this stuff, you start to understand that things get brittle over time. Okay, the ductility of a sword over time will actually get less. Ductility being that which the steel can actually bend and flex. Okay, that ductility goes away. As steel gets harder, it gets more brittle. That's why when you start getting into the upper echelons of steels that are stronger, meant for higher tensile strengths, you actually start putting potassium and manganese and things like that into them. It's not just carbon steel, right? And that, again, there's a lot of things that go into this. I wouldn't take a sword that was forged 400 or 500 years ago and put it up against a sword that, even just modern steel sword that was forged, within the last year or two. I would want them forged, and you can use the old techniques, right? I would want them forged.
Well, the techniques of the forging hasn't changed, or it's the techniques of the smelting, or it's not the technique of smelting hasn't even changed. It's just the quality of the initial ore.
Okay, well then take that. And take that. Clang them together a few times under professionals who can do professional clanging, as you say. And I just want to see which sword gets dinged up more. That's it.
I think this is the most off the rails we've been.
I just want to know. Like, that's it. And he's like,
honestly,
no, this
you know
sword
what? Hold on,
I know
Roy,
will do better.
Royce,
And it's like, but you
know
don't
what?
know because it's never been tested.
Neither would be worse because the iron on the very front, the steel on the front has the least impurities in it. It's the part it's the cutting edge because it's forged from the highest quality steel, and then it's also like what was it? Not tempered.
No, they didn't. Well, it's all kind of
the edge is tempered. I think it is tempered. The edge is tempered.
Well, the edge is tempered, and then they brush. I forget what it's called, but they actually use a liquid that guards from the tempering that actually allows it's a clay. Yeah, they put the clay on the back that allows for
right.
And that's
so they can heat up. So they can heat up the front edge and harden it.
That's why the katana bends is because the steel in the back is actually soft.
The steel on the front is like file strength steel. It's like super hard and super. That's why it can hold its edge sharper and longer than any European sword ever made. Case closed. Bye.
So Daniel, how do you discuss katanas in your book, Jisadai?
Most of the weapons are made with made up futuristic compounds.
There you go. Awesome.
All of the Holy 8 characters are given a black suit that is reinforced, almost like a ballistic suit of clothing, but it's much more impact resistant.
Mike, I was getting a lot of echo from you, so I muted you. I was getting a crazy amount of echo from you.
Yeah, there was actually a lot of echo.
That's funny. Someone else, I had that problem on my last stream too. I don't know what's going on with my mic.
Yeah, I make up a whole bunch of crazy stuff. The whole point of the return to old weapons with new materials is because in the history of Jisadai, the government itself in Japan banned lethal weaponry. So the police, the military all use new tech versions that are non-lethal, rubber bullets, which Adachi refers to as bee stings, sonic weapons, things like stun weapons, things like that. So the corporations took a cue from the past and reopened the concept of the low war, which was sword fighting. Just as long as they could keep it out of the public eye, no one will be the wiser. So there's this big conspiracy amongst all the mega conglomerations to keep their assassins from making headlines, basically. Use their political and local influence to keep all the murders from being investigated properly, which is what pisses off the new character I introduced in Jisadai 2. He's a detective who's kind of sick of it all and goes looking for some way to expose them.
Okay.
Guys, I'm having major internet problems.
You're coming through clear to me.
But I'm having a lot of problems on my end. I'm glad that I'm actually being able to send the stream out properly. I have not run the hardline internet cable into this room yet, and seeing the problems that I'm seeing right now, I actually can't even comment to the chat right now. It won't load the internet enough for me to comment out to the chat. So I will be fixing this issue this weekend. I will not have this issue again. I have put way too much work into this to have this issue. So
yep. We can't hear you, Mike.
Mike, you're gone. Oh, good Lord. Gentlemen, we are getting to that time.
Yeah, I wanted to know if the chat had questions.
Yeah, I can't.
There were definitely questions.
Maybe kind of save them.
Yeah, hold on.
Maybe.
Here.
Okay,
we
Mike,
got
we
you
can
now,
hear
Mike.
you. Mike, we got you.
You still have them starred?
I have some of them starred. Yes, I got 15
Okay.
questions starred, which is good. Give me a minute. I'm going to go and tell some peoples in the house to turn off Wi-Fi. I'll be right back. Guys, I'm not even lying. Like things are crashing on my end and websites are not loading. So I'll be back. This will not happen again. I promise.
Abort.
Yeah, it's almost to that point.
I'd like to take this moment to apologize to the chat for Royce and his horrible opinions about katanas and just swordsmanship in general. He does what he can with what little he has, but we love him for it.
Well, I'm glad you could make it to my guest spot, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this stuff done before dinner, but it's like fucking bashing katanas.
I think every interview should have like experts on standby, and if somebody's subject gets touched, they hop on. Like
begin
or martial arts expert.
It's really funny that this topic came up because I was literally watching all of Shad's katana videos yesterday, and
I'm getting increasingly angry.
Uh-huh.
And then this is the outcome. Okay, I see.
Yeah, Matt and Shad attack Royce. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I did a lot of that, watching documentaries on the craft of making the swords, watching a lot of
the smelting is an entire art form.
And how many people it took to craft one blade. I was watching one where they've got like two guys working the bellow and the trough, and then when they pulled the metal out, they had two other guys with freaking mallets, and they're just back and forth while the master's holding it.
Yeah.
And he's just flipping it around, making sure that it's getting hit the right way.
Beginning to end, it takes 6 months to make a classically styled, katana. That's why they're national treasures. That's why you're not allowed to take them out of Japan unless you're a Japanese citizen. Which is why my mom has one, and I got one from China. So in the good old days of eBay, back when they probably had fewer restrictions on buying things
we were
from
talking
China.
about this on WMD a while back.
You used to be able to buy katanas from fallen Japanese soldiers from China, which I feel terrible about having one because I should return it to his family, but it's so cool. And I even got one that was like
and challenge you to a duel for it. And
they mass produced them too, and so they have some really cheap, but they're still from fallen soldiers.
Multi-grade.
Because they were standard issue. But so when if it takes 6 months to make a good one, it's like, all right, we need 100,000 soldiers to be equipped with swords real quick. It's like, yeah. We're only folding this metal like 4 times. Because the other one's like this.
No 1,000 folds for you.
You can't see the folds in this blade. Huh? Is it defrosted?
Is the flag talking to him?
Stick your hand in there.
Yes, the flag is talking to him.
Yeah.
I got this one.
I mean, you can't see the folds, and that's really how it is. It becomes more like a like it's a pattern when it's like quote unquote Damascus or whatever folded.
Yeah.
But they fold it so many times in the classical way that just disappears and it just becomes sort of a grain on the blade. So it's like,
1,000 folds are beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I got that one at a flea market somewhere in Oklahoma, I think. So
really,
whenever I was
made out of
mono. Have you taken the handle off and checked for?
I can guarantee you that it is not real.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it's made out of.
I was gonna
say
like Oklahoma or something,
whatever.
Because that's where you'd get them is from soldiers from World War II who brought them home.
Yeah.
who shouldn't have, but they did. And so that's how that's how the katana market is in America.
If you find it in a flea market, you're lucky if it's 5160.
All right. So one, I heard that conversation, and that was good. Two, I am so sorry, guys. I literally went upstairs and I was telling everybody, I was like, turn off Wi-Fi and everything. Because
shut it all down.
I was like, well, I live in an area that if internet starts getting overloaded, my Wi-Fi tanks. And so I think just a lot of people are streaming or something. That I literally, I'm on phone service right now, so I can actually see the chats.
Oh,
yeah, on my phone. YouTube is still just has the scrolly wheel for me. I am surprised that we are live. So that
it's the magic of the double Daniels.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, I think what's happening is the time flux situation that's happening with Richard constantly pouring what was
turpentine.
Turpentine. I almost said Vaseline, but turpentine, and it's causing a time space.
That's the Rainbow Bridge.
Basically, guys, we're running out of time to keep Daniel 2025 here, so we're gonna have to get to the super chats.
We're operating on 1.21 gigawatts here.
Hey, hold on. Michael Harris, to the point, says they have good deal of katanas here in China. Yeah,
not surprised.
They're really expensive here. So yeah, not surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. Daniel, 2023. Where can we find you? And Richard, please share those links because I can't.
Okay, let me get those.
Yeah, Richard's got the links.
I can't. Can you do it in the Rumble chat as well?
Joseph Peck for $2 says,
no, we're not there yet. I already have it started. We're not there yet.
I thought you couldn't do that.
No, I can see them on the StreamYard. They're coming up, but I can't chat, and it's very, very slow. But StreamYard is still doing its job, but YouTube's crashing. Other websites are crashing and slightly not loading. It's really bad. Okay.
Wife's calling.
Later,
Mike.
Hey, Austin.
Oh God, I'm sorry, guys. This is really off the rails. Thank you, Richard, so much.
Hey, no problem.
And, this reminds me, I actually need to make one or both of you guys part of my team on StreamYard, so that way, if for some reason stuff ever happens on my end, you guys can take over the stream and still run it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I literally ran. I was like, Royce, turn the TV off. I ran upstairs and I was like, everything needs to go off. My daughter's sitting there playing on the Switch. I'm like, turn the Switch off. And my wife was like, no, we're just watching a movie. I'm like, turn it off.
Like, turn it all off. Shut it down. Shut it down.
Dude,
nobody uses the toilet either. It's Wi-Fi.
If the toilet runs on Wi-Fi, don't use the toilet.
Don't do nothing.
Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Everybody just stand still.
Just hold your breath. Start moving like we used to do with bunny ears to make the bunny ears work. Remember that? Yep. You guys remember that?
Yes.
Dude, I intentionally bent the hell out of my bunny ears so I could get MTV2 on regular television, and it worked. It worked. I used to, Oh, I am so...
MTV2.
Yeah, I used to watch Beavis and Butthead. Do you guys remember High School Stories?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that show got banned hard because there were some things that happened in that. I think they got in a lot of legal trouble for some of the things. It was rough. All right, let's get over here to some of the super chats. I think I got a couple of them in the beginning. But let's get over to the super chats. I think the Rumble chat is still going. So if you guys want to super chat on Rumble, go for it. God, I'm so sorry about this, guys.
Rumble is the place to be.
I like Rumble. Rumble gives me a little bit more freedom. It gives you guys more freedom to kind of say some things. And Guilty Gearhead, he'll say some things. But it also, Rumble gives me the, YouTube, if you guys send a super chat in YouTube stockpiles all the money and then sends it out once a month. Rumble gives me the option to transfer it whenever I want. It usually has just got a week or 2 week lead time, give or take. But Rumble gives me the option to actually get the money faster if that's something that you guys are interested in. Okay. I think I have all the super chats here. Guilty Gearhead says I do say things. Man, I have never had problems like this on a stream. And that just shows me I actually need to get the hard line in here this weekend. All right.
We also should probably figure out that whole being mods in
StreamYards
or something or whatever. So that
I know how to do it. I know how to do it. I just
I don't.
I've had a lot of other things. Do you want me to tell you how?
All right.
No. Okay, so JVP Music for $5 says, glad to see Dan in the chair, an unsung leader of the Iron Age, both my example and by example. I think he said by example and by collaboration. He says my example. Strange JVP. Are you using talk to text as well? That's all. Everybody's like, dude, you spelled it wrong. I'm like, dude, I talk to text. I don't have time. I speak into my phone. My phone does the thing, and then it sits there and it changes the word back and forth forever. And then I click go, and it's always the wrong word. I'm like, well, you know what? We're just gonna let that live on the internet. I don't care at this point.
Yeah, my favorite comment to that one was ducking auto cucumber.
That was great.
Exactly.
Roland's Law. Yeah. Herman B. Hunter. Which one is Daniel? Both. Both of them are. The time-space continuum is collapsing. I think that's why my Wi-Fi is dying.
Yes, we are Daniel. Resistance is futile.
No.
Daniel 3033. He's awesome. You love him.
I'm looking forward to it.
I didn't know I lived that long.
Well, cybernetics. You become Gabriel, basically.
Sweet.
Oh God. As Bernard says, so DPR 2025 has written around 30.
32.
Yeah. About 30, right?
Yeah. 32. Yeah, 32.
Yeah, 30. Oh, 32. Okay.
32 I can mention. There's another like 12, I think, and my name's not attached to other names. You've heard their names though.
That's right.
JVP Music says, how do you critique your own work, especially when you're in the thick of a project?
I don't. Really, the truth of the matter is you should not be trying to correct what you're writing at the time. You're just going to get lost. I write everything out, whether or not it stays in the book. That comes during the editing phase. But the story gets written out in its full glory. Like the G-Sedai books are between 50 and 60 some thousand words. They usually are closer to 80, and I cut them down in editing.
There you go. So that's good. Good for really anybody. Well, in the novel world, and I think JVP Music probably comes from a very similar place that I do, which is the music world.
Mm-hmm.
Which having other people critique your music is that can be a bad thing, because music is during
the editing phase. I have an editor. I edit for everybody else, but I have an editor that I work with, and every once in a while, like Brian McCoppin mentioned earlier with his questions, I put a book up in Laureate as our book club beta read and get some feedback that way, because that's something we do there in the Discord, is work on each other's books and give our first impressions and ideas on how to make it better before it goes out to print. But I never edit during the writing phase, ever. If I start fiddling with words and sentences and structures and things like that, I just end up editing back to the beginning, and I'm not writing the book then. I'm wasting time.
That makes a lot of sense. That really does. Evelyn Music says, how do you pronounce G-Sedai properly? And I think I said it properly, right? G-Sedai?
G-Sedai.
G-Sedai.
Mm-hmm.
The Ultimate Kahuna for $9.99 says, Daniel, you do a tremendous amount for this community, and I appreciate your presence and advice you give freely to so many of us. You're a champion, and look forward to your new book.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. No, guys, it's...
Or actually, I should say, I guess I should say mahalo, because, the ultimate kahuna, no?
See, he's also American though. He's not entirely.
Sticking with the theme.
Right. Oh god, sorry. I'm just trying to figure out how to make this all not die. I'm super worried. I'm just gonna disappear.
Make the hamster go faster, Royce.
I'm trying. Okay. After you poke it so many times with a kettle prop, the hamster stops moving. Stupid hamster. I gotta buy a new one. The rabbit hole sends a super sticker for $1.99, and I don't know what the super sticker is because what's the super sticker? It doesn't show me the super. Thank you so much. The rabbit hole for the $1.99 super sticker. I'm so sorry I can't see it. I would like to pull it up, but my internet is crashing. This will not happen again. I will have the hardline run tomorrow. I took a chance.
Royce is disappointed.
In 2025, he can afford better than DSL. It's pretty impressive.
Everyone's already
awesome.
interconnected.
Because I'm still on dial-up. Oh, dude, yeah, I'm stepping up to DSL. Yeah. Horizon Talker.
Good night, Horizon Talker.
Is he out?
Yeah.
Good night, Horizon Talker. I'm reading your chat right now. This is not a super chat. This is just one I found. He says, "Family, does this film star Vin Diesel?" Oh God, that's great. Oh man, the ultimate Kona
kind of Vin Diesel-ish, so maybe.
There you go.
But he dies.
Spoiler.
Royce wanted secrets.
Right.
It's kind of a given, though, that the other members of the Holy Eight die. I mean, that's literally the point of the story, is them killing each other.
There are some story plots that, and honestly, because a lot of story plots have just already kind of been done, sometimes it's like, look, we know where the story is going, but the idea really is the journey that the author is going to take you on, right?
Yep.
And I would say even more so, not just the journey, but the moral story that they're going to take you on, or if it happens to be a moral story, because most stories have some version of morality tied into them, and
there will be more than one over the course of this.
Yeah. Well, it's the morality of the world, and it's like I'm watching a bunch of different types of like different types of anime and stuff right now, and like Hell's Paradise is gonna have its own moral story, and Jujutsu Kaisen, it kind of has its own thing, and then there's one I'm watching right now. I can't even remember the like 5 episodes in, but anyway, they all have their own moral stories, and the idea is it's not necessarily the ending or like the story beats, because there's not 9 story archetypes. Is that correct? I think there's like 9. I think there's 9 story archetypes, and there's only so many ways that you can, as a writer, kind of conceal which archetype you're writing for so long. And eventually people, these are the story beats you're going to hit, but it's those middle bits, right? It's those middle bits though. Oh, that's how you got there.
Yeah, it's the journey, not the destination.
Yeah. And it's, and I like that.
I mean, this is book 2 of 15, so.
Let's see. The Ultimate Kahuna for $1.99 says, "Why are you mirroring Daniel on the bottom row?" Sir, I am not mirroring Daniel on the bottom row. We have Daniel 2025 here. He is actually using some
the future.
He's from the future. It's Daniel from the future. I'm not mirroring Daniel from the bottom row. I would never mirror Daniel in the bottom row, but I will have Daniels on stream. The Ultimate Kahuna for $1.99. He posts a whole bunch of U's and W's together and then says, "You gay." Like 90s gay or 2023. I don't want to be 2023 gay. Like 90s gay I can deal with, right?
90s, earlier in the chat about the rainbow sword, which is actually a fire sword in Genocide 2. The chat went out thinking it was a gay sword. No. In Japan, Rainbow is fire. It's not gay.
Guilty Gearhead says, "Stop hurting Mike, Royce." I was going to start thinking. I love how
I gotta say, I feel like Mike just couldn't quite admit that. Yes, I think you're probably right, Royce. But I also think reading the Wikipedia article to him probably wasn't going to change.
Richard, I'm kind of glad you didn't say that when he was here. This
He's
would have
probably
been an
still
hour and a
listening.
half long.
I know.
Debate.
I know. I was thinking it, and I was like sitting here. I was like, oh,
just like
I could kind of roast both of them, but
the premise is
Royce
simple.
would laugh, and Mike would be like, ah.
Get the steel that he's talking about. Get the steel that I'm talking about. Get two people of equal martial arts and just have them deflect the blades and just see which one. And you can pull it up and like measure the dings and the dents because the steel dings and dents and just see which one holds up better. That's it. And he's like, no, what you don't understand. And I'm like, no, you can't. Like, what you don't understand is you're telling me. And then he's like, well, but it can't be done because they're not going to take a historical artifact. And I'm like,
speaking of which, y'all's little tiff over katanas took away the time.
Tiff over katana. I'm talking about steel.
Took away the time to look at the pictures on the landing page.
Yeah,
we can go back and look at them.
I hope I can go back and Richard, you can present them.
Because I wanted to show those off to explain a facet of both.
Okay, well, hold on.
Comic and the animated series when I get there.
I would really like that. And then everything started dying on me.
Mm-hmm.
I still have the scrolly wheel of death for YouTube. I cannot believe we are live right now.
I'm not sure if this is.
It's on the landing page, not the Fund My Comic one.
The three pictures above join the fight.
So it's not on Fund My Comic?
There's a link in the description area.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're at. I can hit present. I can hit present. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please work.
I was gonna say I could do it if you. I'm sitting here. Doesn't work for you. I'll do it.
Yeah, that.
Ooh, scrolly wheel.
Oh God.
Circle,
okay, I'm stopping screen. I'm stopping screen.
Let me try instead.
I am afraid, guys. I am.
There
Why?
we go. All right, can you pull mine up?
Does it show? Guys,
Yep.
do you see it? I see the scrolly wheel.
We see it. So, on the left, obviously, is the Kenny David poster. The center one, that is Hannah in the costume that the traffickers dressed her up in to entertain men, looking at herself in the mirror and seeing who she wants to be, which is who she is in GCI 2. Just a normal girl, but a normal girl who can defend herself, hence the sword. And the third image there is Gabriel with the white hair, and that blue arc with the sort of spirit rabbit coming out of it is a design descriptor I'm going to be implementing in the comic book and in the animated series, sort of inspired by Demon Slayer, in how they had
I dig it.
They had very ornate energy trails, for lack of a better term, in their weapon strikes. So that'll be something you'll see in the art pieces that I put out and eventually in the physical media that I do for the series. Michael's, Fire Daisha set will have an arc of fire coming from it. Gabriel's will have that spirit rabbit charging with each swing
kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. I just thought it was a really interesting detail, and Livia, the artist who brought it to life, did a great job on that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, absolutely they did.
I was going to say, unfortunately, I can't see anything. I'm afraid to do anything else.
Dude, I still have the scrolly wheel. I have the 4 of us on the bottom, and then there's my picture with a scrolly wheel over it.
There we go.
I literally like it's showing on stream, and I'm surprised. So I'm gonna bring us back to here.
Yeah, that was all I wanted you guys to see, because that was a design detail that I really would like to see, and I wanted to share with everybody that it's not just going to have very visceral fight sequences. There's also going to be that little extra element of representation in the weapons in the trails that come off of them as they're being swung at incredible speeds.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that choice. There's only so much that you can do with just sword swinging and doing the typical air slashes and things like that. And animators for a long time, especially in the anime world, have been getting, better and better with animating the emotional pull of when a sword or a strike or whatever goes in full motion.
Yep.
But to your point, I think Demon Slayer is probably the pinnacle of the attack emotion, because every time there is an attack on screen in Demon Slayer, it carries its own weight. It carries its own emotional pull. And I never actually really thought about that in this moment, because up until now, it's just really cool animation. But when you actually sit down and you go, oh, wow, no, the sword swing and the colorful, artwork that they're doing to annotate the sword swing, that's presenting an emotion. It is showing you in a different way how the wielder of that sword is feeling right now as they're going into the attack. Yep. And I think that's probably why Demon Slayer is just there is no anime on the planet right now bigger than Demon Slayer, period. I don't think there is. And the manga's been over for what, 4 or 5 years now?
Something like that. And
the
style that they use is roughly from the ukiyo-e period of physical painting, which is very bold lines, but they're also extremely calculated lines, like calligraphy is. So I wanted to play a little bit with that in the combat sequences of Jisedai when I turn it into something like a comic book and eventually a show.
That's awesome. I want to see it. I'm a movie and TV guy, so I want to see it. Joseph Peck for $2 says, I blame Herman. Thank God somebody did. Oh God. Thank God somebody did.
I blame Herman too, but I really enjoyed the Wizard Stone.
Yes, yeah, that was a good one.
I
don't have it.
I have it.
Review coming soon, Herman.
It's over here. I need to read more. I'm working to one day be able to have time to actually read everything. That's my goal. I want to get there. For $4.99, the Ultimate Kahuna says, touch swords with your 90s. It's not really gay. If you're giving... Wait, hold on. Touch swords with your 90s. It's not really gay if you're giving it bro facial hair and it's pretty gay. What?
Not a fan of your goatee.
I gotta wear a respirator at work. And my wife still doesn't like it if I go clean shaven. She's like, yeah, you gotta have something there. So I'm like, I don't know. I changed stuff up.
I decided to rock the mutton chops.
I did notice that. I can't do that because my mutton chops just turn into, well, my hair.
Well, 2 years your chops connect to your goatee.
Yeah.
Nice.
It'll grow back eventually.
Joseph Peck for $2 says, sorry guys, I'll not mention katanas anymore. All your fault.
Incur the wrath of
katana debacle of 2023.
happens to this.
I'm glad there was
it's
one
what
on
led
my
us to what you see
interview.
today with Mr. DP Riley 2025.
It's the butterfly effect. Little tiny
He was
pieces.
never the same.
Right. It's never the same. We have altered history, ladies and gentlemen. We've altered history today. Gentlemen, I've caught up with all of the super chats. My internet is dying. I'm actually going to close all these windows over here. And I will let everybody have an outro, whatever you guys have to shill. Huh?
There was no Kikoman today. I'm sad.
No, Kikoman, he's been busy, man. Kikoman's been busy. I talked with him the other day. So
Still I'm sad.
Let's start with Mr. DP Riley 2023. Sir, what do you have to shill?
Everything that we literally just talked about for the last 2.5 hours.
Dude, your shill still sucks. It's your shill stream, and it still sucks.
And it's.
I have to mess with you. That's
I
all.
know. Richard, if you wouldn't mind.
How is it not live yet?
I don't know. It's not live yet, but we need to be on that.
Oh, wait. Is it
34 minutes?
Specific is
34 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, is midnight. Is 9 p.m.
Guys, midnight. This goes live. I'll post it in the Gilded. It will be live in the Gilded.
Yes.
All right.
So the Fund My Comic is literally a virtual book signing. You can either purchase the Jisedai 2 signed by me. You can get the 2-book bundle, both signed by me. You could get the 2-book bundle plus T-shirt in the mega bundle, or you can go for the super mega bundle all the way at the bottom, which is both books signed, the T-shirt, and your choice of a small 5x7 or a slightly bigger 8x10 poster of Kenny David's beautiful art design. He is working on a Gabriel versus Michael image for me soon. And when it is, it'll be posted up, and that will also be available in my merch store.
I need to make more money. I got to figure out a way to make more money.
Otherwise, if you want assistance with your writing projects, whimsyland.org is where you can get them from me. If be it coaching, editing, and proofing, want me to write your book for you, we can work it out.
And I could have maybe spoken with Daniel behind the scenes and really run by the ideas of the Dr. Stone video that I put a lot of time and effort, energy into. I know the editing wasn't on point on that, but I ran a lot of ideas by Daniel and asked him, like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, here's where I'm going, like, what's going on? And I called him on the phone. I was like, hey, man, this is what I'm thinking. And he literally shoots me a private message with some bullet points.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, this is what I do for everybody. And it's so Daniel actually the next, I'm working through what the next video essay is that I'm going to do. I haven't quite landed on it yet, but I would imagine I may make another phone call to Mr. Daniel P. Riley and ask him for some help, kind of, making sure that I don't go too far one way or the other. And I think the Dr. Stone video, as passionate as I am about that show, it suffered from the editing, but it did not suffer from the guidance that I got from Mr. Daniel P. Riley here. He actually really helped me stay on point. He really, as I was going through that, I was really thinking, I was like, okay, don't psych yourself out. Don't go too into it. And it was like, just be Royce. Just because that was one of his notes. Just be Royce. If you stop being Royce, it's not going to work. And I was like, I sadly, there were some parts in the video where I stopped being me. So, but so he doesn't just help authors. Like he's got notes for everybody, guys. And so go hire
happy to help. You can reach out to me and follow me on Twitter at Mr. DP Riley. My best ask would be share the Fund My Comic and get the word out there. As if we can get this thing going, it's gonna happen regardless, but the more help from the community I get, the faster it comes out.
It happens. It funds in one day. Give you a little hint.
I with
I
the
think it will.
community that we have, I think you'll be funded by tomorrow morning because you guys are absolutely fantastic. Like, yeah.
That's why I love working with everybody in the community.
I do have to now Mr. DP Riley 2025. I think it's time to reveal who you actually are, so you can do a proper show.
Take the mask off.
Yes, by Genocide. Book 3 just released.
By 2025, it should be book.
But my notes here do say, please, Brian McCoppin, follow him on Twitter and thepaladinbooks.com. That's all he's got on his notes. So this is a Daniel P. Riley shill stream, not a BP McCoppin major jerk stream.
This has been a message from the Daniel P. Riley shill stream. All right. Well, Mr. Richard, good sir.
Well, I was going to say, before we get too far off of Mr. McCoppin, whoever that person might be, he was featured on the on Iron Age Media as the April popular vote pick from the short stories. So congratulations to him. And if you want to get a feel for some of his work, you can always go check that out. And he has an author page there, which has links to his various books. And then
In the Crusade, Record of the Paladin.
Yes. And also Anvil is moving forward. Mr. Daniel P. Riley is also helping me there as editor. So that's an ongoing project that, just keeps rolling.
I have enjoyed all of your stories.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to have to sit down and hash out the second issue here in the next couple of days. But aside from that, if you are one of the people who enjoy the chill streams on Sunday that I do, I'm going to attempt something a little bit different since I don't have anything to paint this time, and I'm not going to be playing any games. So I might be doing something. I might be leaning into accidentally. I might be leaning into the ASMR joke that we've been repeatedly making, but probably not in the way that you expect.
Oh no!
So
Richard,
I won't be eating. I promise. I might be eating something, but I don't think you'll hear it.
I have to be honest. I laughed so hard last week when I was in your, and I apologize about crashing your chat. But I laughed so hard when your wife was just like, I heard how Royce said that. I'm like, oh, I literally thought to myself, I was like, that's not good. It's like, if she could tell my voice inflection from a text, I'm like, and I knew exactly what because that's how I thought it. And I was like, oh no, this isn't. I just wanted to say that. I just thought that was great. That made my night.
I approve of all chaos, so it's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
You were encouraging it in the guild, and I was like, no.
Always.
A bit of insanity is always welcome on the chill stream. Although usually it's not as lively as Iron Age Nights, shall we say?
Not to reveal too much, but the Sunday, June 8th, 2025, you must catch that chill stream.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. That'll be one for the ages.
Sunday, June 8th,
2025.
Yeah, 2025.
Oh shit! Where the fuck did all my?
He's trying to do more things.
Mark the calendar.
I would have done what I just did.
You guys. While Royce has his technical meltdown, I have to ask something. The question we should have asked right at the beginning and we didn't. Me from the future. How's Legends of Shalar doing?
There we go.
It's an Amazon television series.
Oh, picked up. That's nice.
Hell yeah.
Please tell me those guys made billions of dollars.
Bigger budget than Lord of the Rings, Power of the Rings.
No. Oh God!
And
And
strange
that's
enough,
not even including
you're
the
black in that
inflation.
movie, Royce. It's weird. You're black in the movie somehow.
Uh,
A lot of choices.
Who stars me? Is it a star that we know of now, or is it?
Idris Elba has a son. His son, I can't remember his first name. He's
Oh, that's awesome. Oh no, I look just like him.
As long as I'm not played by Pedro Pascal, we're fine.
No, a girl plays you. Us. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
Makes sense.
It's great. So, is it a black girl or Asian?
It's a redheaded Chinese girl.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, my show real quick. Be here tomorrow night. We continue Star Shatter tomorrow night. And then, as always, be here for Sunday Coffee, 11 a.m. Central. I'll read all of your comments. We're going to have a blast. I need to run an internet cable. I need to go build chicken nesting boxes. I got a lot of stuff I got to do tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. Thank you so much for being here on Iron Age Nights.
Thank you guys for being awesome.
Unbelievably fun.
Oh, the portal's
Holy shit!
Oh no!
Wait, Kikomon for $100 fucking dollars.
Oh.
Kiko late. Hail Daniel! Woo! Show me! Show you, Kikomon!
There we
Thank
go.
you.
Show you
Kikomon.
came in at the last minute.
Under the
Hey,
wire.
Kiko, hit me up, man. I want to make sure you're doing good, dude. Don't lose touch, okay?
Yeah,
Seriously.
definitely.
Wow.
Keep in touch, Kikomon. We missed you.
Holy crap, dude. I could not have done that any later. My God. I usually miss those. Kikomon, have an awesome night, sir. Thank you.
Love
Show
you,
me,
brother.
show you.
Show me, show you. And with all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an awesome stream brought to you by the Iron Age Knights. And we will see you all next time. Cheers, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Uh-oh. Can Royce even turn off the stream?
I don't
Pause
think
button.
you can.
I
That's gonna
actually
be
don't think I can turn off the stream.
Fantastic ending.
It's still running in 2025.
Is the stream still
This
going?
is there's actually no more. This is the last Iron Age Nights.
Oh my
We didn't
God.
know that. We just get back on every.
That was the
every
connection of the
week
time
about this
continuum.
No, seriously, we're still live. I can't actually shut the fucking stream off.
We
Oh,
are
now the
professionals.
screen- There we go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa!